Have you ever imagined what it means to be an opportunity that someone will never have again? It's not about something simple or fleeting, it's about carrying a purpose so significant that your absence leaves an unfillable void. You were more than just a casual presence, you were an answer. While others offered empty words, you brought depth, light, and transformation. But the truth is, not everyone was ready for that. Some rejected you out of fear, ignorance, or simply because they didn't understand the value of what they had before them. Now, distance has only magnified the weight of their regret. They know you were the difference that could have changed everything. Life, however, waits for no one. And while they were busy underestimating or ignoring what you had to offer, time kept moving forward. Today, they feel the impact of your absence in ways they may never admit. The irony lies in the fact that, while you carried what they needed, love, clarity, guidance, they chose to close themselves off. And no matter how much they try to feign indifference, the void left behind cannot be filled by anyone else. Because what you bring isn't found just anywhere. It's unique, rare, and now, for them, unattainable. And perhaps you've felt the weight of that rejection. Maybe you've wondered why your intentions were misinterpreted or your actions undervalued. But here's the truth, they didn't reject you, they rejected the greater purpose you represented. Your presence was unsettling because it illuminated areas they didn't want to face. Your light exposed shadows they preferred to keep hidden. And that's not your fault. It's a reflection of hardened hearts that, by their own choice, refused the chance to change. But now, look at yourself. Despite everything, you didn't stop. While they remained trapped in cycles of regret, you moved forward. And that's the point. You are not defined by what you've lost or who lost you. You are defined by the strength you found within yourself to keep going, to grow, to flourish, even when it seemed like no one saw the value of what you offered. That is power. That is being chosen. You weren't rejected because you were small, but because what you carried was too great to be understood by those still walking in darkness. Now, understand this, it's not about pride or revenge, but about recognizing that you weren't sent to lose yourself trying to save those who don't want to be saved. Your purpose is greater than any rejection. It's greater than any no you've ever received. The pain you felt wasn't an end, but a beginning, the start of a chapter where you finally realize the only validation you need is the one that comes from your own growth. Leave the past behind and move forward. They had their chance, and now it's too late. But for you, the horizon is still full of possibilities. They believed you would always be there, like a steadfast rock in the midst of a storm. They thought they could ignore you, use you, or even belittle your presence because, deep down, they believed you would never leave. But see, even rocks are shaped by time and circumstances. There comes a moment when the light within you demands freedom, demands space to grow and shine without being dimmed by others' shadows. And when you decide to move forward, something changes. Not just for you but for them. Because the absence of someone who carries purpose is like the silence after thunder, deafening, impossible to ignore. They might pretend they don't feel it, but every passing second without your presence is a painful reminder of what they squandered. The rejection you faced wasn't just their mistake, it was a lesson. A lesson for you and for them. For you, it was a reminder that not everyone has the capacity to recognize the value of a gem until it's out of reach. And for them, it was a lesson that divine opportunities don't present themselves twice in the same way. God allowed you to enter their lives as a blessing but also as a test. And when they failed to see the gift they had, they chose their own path, a path marked by regret, emptiness, and the constant what if that now echoes in their minds. Time might soften the pain, but it will never erase the mark you left. You weren't sent to please everyone, and perhaps that was hard to accept at first. Your role was never to be understood by those still trapped in their own limitations. You were sent to plant seeds, seeds of change, truth, awakening. Some of those seeds bloom immediately, but others take time. And still others fall on barren ground, unable to grow. That's not your fault. That's the nature of your mission. Not everyone is ready to receive what you bring, and that's okay. Because you're not here to be limited by others' rejection. You're here to grow, to expand, to fulfill a purpose that transcends human understanding. While they remain stuck in the past, trying to figure out what went wrong, you move into the future. You no longer carry the weight of trying to prove your worth to those who aren't prepared to recognize it. Instead, you embrace your journey, knowing that every step forward is a reflection of the power God placed within you. And that strength? It's impossible to extinguish. Those who once doubted or rejected your presence may try to minimize the impact you had, but they can't erase the truth. You were the change they desperately needed but didn't know how to accept. And do you know what's most powerful? The fact that, even after everything, you don't hold on to resentment. Your strength doesn't come from a desire for revenge, but from the certainty that your mission is greater. You understand that releasing these connections is an act of self-love and, at the same time, a surrender to the divine plan. When you leave behind those who aren't ready, you make room for new connections, new purposes, and new blessings. And most importantly, you continue to be light, no matter where you are or who stands beside you. The rejection you face doesn't define you, it defines those who chose it. For them, regret is like a lingering shadow. Even as they try to move on, there are moments when the memory of your presence resurfaces with force, serving as an uncomfortable reminder of what was lost. They may try to fill that void with other people, distractions, or even justifications for their actions, but nothing truly compares. Because what you brought was rare, it was authentic, powerful, and transformative. It wasn't just about what you did or said, but about what you represented. You carried a presence that challenged mediocrity, that illuminated the darkest corners of their lives. And losing that is a kind of pain they can pretend to ignore but can never truly forget. And as they face the weight of their regret, something extraordinary happens to you. You grow. Every rejection, every misunderstanding, every attempt to diminish you transforms into fuel for your evolution. It's as if every closed door opened an even bigger window, filled with possibilities that once seemed distant. You learn that your worth doesn't depend on external recognition but on what you know to be true in your heart. Your light doesn't dim because someone chose not to see it. On the contrary, it shines even brighter, guiding you toward people and places that truly deserve what you have to offer. You begin to realize that some connections weren't meant to last, but to teach. This doesn't mean the pain disappears immediately, but it does mean you find purpose even in difficult moments. Every person who rejected your presence, underestimated your worth, or tried to mold you into what was convenient for them has, in fact, helped you grow stronger. It's almost ironic, while they lose something irreplaceable, you gain something invaluable, clarity about who you are and who should walk beside you. God doesn't allow these situations to happen by chance, everything has a reason, and that reason always points to your growth. There's a quiet power in the freedom that comes from letting go of connections that no longer serve your purpose. You realize you don't have to carry the weight of relationships that drain your energy, people unwilling to grow, or situations that don't reflect the greatness of the calling you've received. Letting go isn't abandonment, it's choosing yourself. And in doing so, you create space for new blessings, deeper relationships, and a life that resonates with your true purpose. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Because those who are chosen cannot cling to what holds them back. And as you move forward, those who lost you remain trapped in their own limitations. Not because you abandoned them, but because they chose not to grow alongside you. You are an invitation to change, an opportunity for something greater. But growth requires courage, and not everyone is willing to face the discomfort of leaving behind old habits and beliefs. This doesn't mean you failed, it simply means your mission with those people has come to an end. Now is the time to embrace what lies ahead, with the certainty that the best is yet to come. God has a plan, and that plan never depends on those who chose not to be part of it. When you decide to release the weight of the past, something magical happens. You realize you never needed approval to shine. The light you carry comes from a place so deep and divine that it was never at the mercy of those who refused to acknowledge it. And in that moment, you reconnect with your essence, with your mission. You understand that your journey isn't about convincing or pleasing others but about fulfilling the purpose God placed in your heart. And that is liberating. Suddenly, opinions, judgments, and rejections lose their power to hurt you. They become distant echoes of a time when you still believed you needed to prove something to the world. Here's the profound truth. as you move forward, they remain bound to the impact you made. No matter how much they try to ignore or minimize what they felt, the mark you left is indelible. Because you weren't just another person in their lives, you were the difference, the possibility of transformation. And even if they don't admit it, every memory of you is a reminder of what they could have been if they'd had the courage to embrace the light you brought. They may try to fill the void with other people, other experiences, but none will have the same impact. What you offer is unique, it's rare, and for them, it's now unattainable. Before we continue, if you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one, our ebook is an invaluable resource. Find guidance to illuminate your path and understand your unique gifts. Get it now and gain access to our exclusive Discord community, where you'll find support and understanding. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Plus, gain access to unique and exclusive content. Check out the pinned comment here in the video. And don't be mistaken, the rejection you faced was not a reflection of who you are, but of where they were in their journeys. Not everyone is ready to grow, to change, to confront their own shadows. Your presence demanded that, a willingness to look within, to challenge oneself, to abandon old patterns. And unfortunately, not everyone has that courage. But that's not something you can change. You can be the flame that illuminates, but you cannot force anyone to step out of the darkness. That decision is not yours to make. It is yours only to move forward, knowing you fulfilled your role, even if they failed to fulfill theirs. And as you move forward, something even more powerful happens. You become a magnet for true connections. People who recognize your light, who value what you bring, who are ready to grow alongside you begin to appear in your life. This is no coincidence. It is divine law in action. When you free yourself from what holds you back, you make room for what truly elevates you. These new connections are not based on need or convenience but on purpose and reciprocity. And that makes all the difference. You realize that what you offer is not for everyone, and that's okay. Because those who are ready will value it, and together, you will create something even greater. You may still wonder why you had to go through all of this. Why you faced so much rejection, so much resistance. The answer is simple. Because each of these experiences prepared you for something greater. The pain you felt was the fire that refined your strength. The doors that closed directed you to paths you might never have explored on your own. And every person who underestimated you only confirmed that your light was too great for them. This was no coincidence, it was training. God was shaping you, preparing you for a purpose so grand that when it finally reveals itself, you will understand that it was all worth it. It's curious how, even from a distance, the energy you leave behind continues to reverberate in the lives of those who rejected you. They may not admit it, but your absence speaks louder than any words. Every victory you achieve, every step you take toward your purpose, is a reminder that they could have been part of something greater. They watch from afar, often in silence, as you grow, as you transform into everything you were always meant to be. And that eats away at them. Not because you want them to suffer, but because the reality of what was lost is impossible to ignore. They didn't just lose you, they lost the chance to evolve alongside you, to walk with someone who had the power to transform not only their lives but their souls. The impact of your presence was never something fleeting. You didn't enter their lives like a gentle breeze but as a strong wind that challenged their structures, that shook what had been stagnant. That's what chosen ones do. They bring movement, awaken change, break cycles. But not everyone is ready to handle that. Some people prefer the comfort of their own prisons over the freedom that truth offers. And that's what you represented to them, freedom. Freedom to think differently, to live differently, to be different. But, like those who chose the desert over the promised land, they chose the familiarity of stagnation over the unknown of transformation. And you move forward. Not without pain, of course. Because being rejected, even when you know you did nothing wrong, hurts. But that pain was transformed into strength. Every tear, every moment of doubt, was used to shape you, to fortify you. Today, you look back and realize that if those doors hadn't closed, you might never have found the paths that truly matter. In His infinite wisdom, God knew exactly what He was doing. He allowed those rejections, those losses, not to destroy you but to refine you. Because the purpose He has for you requires a strength that can only come through fire. Now, you walk with more lightness, with more clarity. You know who you are, you know what you carry, you know what you deserve. And more importantly, you know what you will no longer tolerate. This isn't arrogance, it's discernment. It's the certainty that you cannot afford to waste your energy on those who are unwilling to grow. Your light is too precious to be extinguished by those who prefer the darkness. And that's what sets you apart. You don't seek revenge, you don't wish harm, but you also refuse to accept less than what God has reserved for you. And that is power. The kind of power that doesn't need to be shouted because it is felt. For them, all that remains is the silence of regret. They may pretend they don't miss you, they may even try to justify their choices, but deep down, they know they lost something they will never find again. And you keep growing. Every step you take is a living testimony to the power of being chosen, the power of believing in something greater, the power of leaving the past behind. You are not merely their lost opportunity. You are proof that God uses even rejection to build something extraordinary. And while they look back, trapped in the what-ifs, you look forward, knowing the best is yet to come. While they remain caught in cycles of regret, you move forward with a clarity that only the chosen possess. What once seemed like a loss is now understood as divine protection. God doesn't remove people or situations from your life by chance. He saw what you couldn't see, heard conversations you would never hear, and felt intentions that were hidden. The rejection you faced was, in fact, a form of preservation. You weren't removed because you weren't good enough, you were taken away because your light wasn't meant to be wasted in places where it wouldn't be valued. And when you understand that, something powerful happens. You stop looking back and start walking with purpose toward the future. And the future awaiting you is greater than you can imagine. Every experience you endured, every door that was closed, every no you received was preparation. God was strengthening you, shaping you, refining you. Because what's coming requires not just strength but also wisdom. And that wisdom can only be gained through practice, through moments of pain, through the deserts you've walked through. But see, you didn't stay in the desert. You moved forward. And now, every step you take is a declaration to the universe that you are not defined by what you lost, but by what you chose to build. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are a victor forged in the fire. For them, the regret continues to grow, silent but steady. They might try to ignore it, but the heart knows what the mind tries to deny. Every achievement of yours, every time your name is mentioned, every time your image appears, serves as a reminder of what was lost. And it hurts. Not because you wish them pain, but because the absence of a divine opportunity creates a void that nothing else can fill. They may find success, happiness, or new paths, but there will always be that unsettling feeling that something essential was left behind. And you keep shining, not because you need to prove anything, but because that's what chosen ones do. They illuminate wherever they are. What you carry within you is far greater than yourself. It's a calling, a purpose, a mission that transcends human understanding. Not everyone can see it, and that's okay. You're not here to please everyone but to impact those who are truly ready. And that's exactly what you do. Every time you rise, move forward, or choose to shine, you inspire those who watch you, even from afar. You are a living reminder that failure is not the end, that rejection is not defeat, and that there is power in continuing, even when everything seems to be against you. And that inspiration? It's one of the greatest gifts you can offer the world. So, keep going. Don't let the pain of the past hold you back or let doubt paralyze you. You've already overcome enough to know that what lies ahead is so much greater. What God placed within you is not common, not fleeting. It is eternal, and no one can take it away from you. They had the chance to walk alongside you, to grow with you, to experience what it means to be near someone with purpose. But they chose another path. And now, all that's left for them is to watch as you flourish. Not as an act of revenge, but as a testament to what it means to be truly chosen. The journey of a chosen one is never linear. There are unexpected turns, moments of loneliness, and periods when you question whether you're truly on the right path. But every step, even those that felt like setbacks, was part of a greater plan. The days you cried in silence, not understanding why things were happening, were the same days God was strengthening you for future challenges. Now, looking back, you see that nothing was in vain. Every tear was a seed, every disappointment was the soil being prepared, and every rejection was a necessary detour to put you on the right path. Today, you walk not only with greater strength but with deeper purpose. And as you move forward, the impact you have on others becomes impossible to ignore. Even those who tried to dim your light cannot avoid feeling your presence, even from a distance. Because the truth is, you cannot be erased. Your essence is unforgettable, and your energy is unmistakable. There is something about you that touches people on a deeper level, even if they don't admit it. Your light reveals both the good and the hidden within them. For some, this is frightening. But for others, it is transformative. You don't need to say anything, your presence alone is enough to awaken something in the hearts around you. But not everyone has the courage to face what your light reveals. Many prefer the safety of mediocrity over the pain of growth. And that's why so many choose to distance themselves or reject those who carry a greater calling. This is not a reflection of your worth, but of their limitations. You are a mirror, and mirrors show truths that not everyone is ready to see. What you bring is an invitation to change, but change requires effort, sacrifice, and vulnerability. And not everyone is willing to pay that price. However, those who choose to walk beside you are deeply blessed because they recognize that the light you carry is something rare and precious. The true freedom you've gained is in no longer depending on those who fail to recognize your value. You've stopped waiting for external validation and found strength within yourself. This doesn't mean you don't feel or care, but that you've learned to prioritize your peace and purpose above all else. The rejection you faced could have broken you, but instead, it built you. Now, you look to the future with confidence, knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. And more importantly, knowing that those who truly matter will be drawn to your authenticity, not to what they can take from you. They may continue watching from afar, trying to understand how you overcame everything and still managed to thrive. They might even pretend your absence doesn't affect them, but the truth is, every step you take serves as a reminder of what they lost. They may try to fill the void with other people, other experiences, but nothing compares to the unique essence you carry. And that is what makes you so powerful. Because you weren't just someone passing through their lives, you were the impact, the change, the invitation to something greater. And while they deal with the consequences of their choices, you keep moving forward, shining even brighter. The most powerful part of this journey is realizing that you don't need to carry any weight from the past. Those who chose to reject or underestimate you have already made their decision, and what remains now is a lesson God uses for both them and you. For them, it's the constant reminder that divine opportunities are not eternal and can be lost. For you, it's the certainty that your worth was never in the hands of those who failed to see it. This understanding sets you free. You stop questioning why things happened and begin to trust fully in the greater plan that is unfolding. And in this process, your soul finds peace because it knows that every loss was, in fact, a realignment. And as they face the consequences of turning their backs on an opportunity sent by God, you flourish in ways you never imagined. Every step forward you take is a testament to divine grace working in your life. What seemed like a no at the moment was, in fact, God's yes to something much greater. He knew you needed to go through certain deserts to appreciate the promised land awaiting you. And now, as they watch from afar, they feel the impact of their choices. The brilliance of your victory is a reflection of everything they decided not to embrace. This is not pride or revenge, it's simply the truth. Your journey is living proof that God honors those who trust in His plan. There comes a moment when you realize that looking back no longer makes sense. It's not that you ignore what happened, but you understand that you cannot carry forward something that no longer serves your purpose. This is spiritual maturity. It's knowing that not everyone has the capacity to walk alongside you, and that's okay. You weren't sent to save everyone, but to impact those who are ready. And those who rejected your light, they are part of the plan too. Their absence creates space for people and situations aligned with your mission to enter your life. This is what makes your journey so unique. You don't need many, you only need those who understand and value your essence. And in recognizing this, you stop seeking acceptance in the wrong places. The rejection that once hurt you now becomes irrelevant because you understand you didn't lose anything. In fact, you gained. You gained clarity, strength, and above all, freedom. Freedom to be who you truly are, without trying to fit into the expectations of those who were never ready to understand you. That freedom is transformative. It allows you to move forward without burdens, without chains, with a light heart and your eyes set on what lies ahead. And it's precisely this freedom that confuses those who rejected you. They expected to see you stuck in the past, but instead, they see you soar. To them, this may seem like a mystery, but to you, it's simply the reflection of divine purpose in action. Every step you take is guided, every decision you make is aligned with something far greater than yourself. And this is what the chosen ones understand: your path is not determined by who accepts or rejects your light, but by the one who sent it. God. And as He continues to guide you, you realize there's no need to look sideways or backward. The only direction that matters is forward. And those who didn't value your presence? Let them deal with the consequences of their choices. Your journey doesn't wait for anyone because what lies ahead is simply too grand to be delayed. There's beauty in understanding that not everything needs to be explained or justified. Not everyone will comprehend the role you played in their lives, just as you don't need to wait for that understanding. You weren't placed here to be understood by everyone, but to fulfill a greater purpose. And that purpose continues, regardless of who was left behind. Those who once underestimated your worth, who didn't listen to what you had to say, or who rejected what you offered, are now living with the consequences of their choices. Meanwhile, you walk toward the destiny God has mapped out for you, knowing that your light cannot be extinguished, even from a distance. What they fail to grasp is that your strength doesn't come only from what you do, but from who you are. You carry something that transcends human understanding, a calling, a purpose that goes beyond circumstances. That's what sustains you. It's not their approval but the certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be. They may try to understand from afar, they may even attempt to reconnect. But the truth is that some opportunities don't return. And that was the hardest lesson for them to learn: that time doesn't wait. The chance they had is gone, and now all that's left is to watch as you continue to grow and flourish. And as you move forward, a new understanding emerges: the rejection you faced was, in fact, a blessing in disguise. It freed you from expectations, from cycles that led nowhere, from connections that drained your energy. Today, you walk lighter, more secure in who you are and what you deserve. That freedom is the greatest gift you could have received because it allows you to live unshackled, without the weight of trying to please or fit into places where you were never meant to be. Every step you take now is an act of affirmation, a declaration to the world and to yourself that you are not defined by what you lost, but by who you chose to become. And what you've chosen to become is something rare, powerful, and transformative. You chose to keep going, even when circumstances tried to stop you. You chose to shine, even when it seemed no one was watching. You chose to stay true to the purpose God placed in your life, even when it meant walking alone for a while. These choices are what make you a chosen one. Because being chosen is not about never failing or never being rejected. It's about never giving up. It's about understanding that every challenge, every obstacle, every closed door is part of a greater plan. A plan that not only leads you to overcome but also inspires others to do the same. As you look ahead, there's a certainty that pulses in your heart: the best is yet to come. You don't need to carry the pain of rejection or doubt your worth, because all of that has already been resolved. God chose you, and that is enough. Those who failed to see it cannot change what's been lost, but you have the power to choose what comes next. And what comes next? A life filled with purpose, freedom, and accomplishments that only someone with your light can achieve. So, keep moving forward. Don't look back, because your future is far too bright to be overshadowed by the past. They had their chance, but now it's too late. For you, however, everything is just beginning. You've made it this far because deep down, you know your journey holds a greater purpose. Every rejection you faced, every door that closed, every person who chose not to value your light was not an end, it was a new beginning. You are not here by chance. God chose you, prepared you, and placed you in the right place, at the right time, to fulfill something extraordinary. Now, it's no longer about who lost you, but about who you are becoming. And as you move forward into what's to come, remember this: you are stronger than you think. Your presence is powerful, your impact is real, and your purpose is undeniable. Keep advancing, keep growing, and never let the choices of others define your worth. What you have to offer is rare, it is precious, and it is exactly what the world needs. If this video resonated with you, don't let this message stop here. Click the like button below, subscribe to the channel right now, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that inspires your journey. Share this video with someone you believe needs to hear this message. And leave a comment telling us how this content has impacted you. Don't miss the opportunity to join our exclusive community on Discord by acquiring our ebook through the pinned link in the first comment. I'm confident it will be a valuable resource for you. It will not only bring clarity to your mission and unique gifts, but also connect you with other chosen ones who will welcome and support you. Don't miss being part of this environment. This is a crucial moment, and together we can impact many lives. Choose to be part of this mission. I also want to thank everyone who supports us through Buy Me a Coffee. Your support helps us improve our videos every day and provide the best content possible. If you'd like to support us too, the link is also in the first pinned comment. Stay with us and watch the recommended video appearing on the screen now, or dive into the playlist on the Secrets of the Chosen Ones, where each episode was designed to guide you deeper into your essence, revealing all the power and potential that resides within you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep being the difference, and until next time, may God bless you.